On the 26th of January 2026, I wrote to my housing association requesting disability adaptations to my home because even though this is social housing, the housing association thought it would be wonderful, and it truly was, for them to install Velux windows. However, what they didn't take into account is that Velux windows are extremely expensive to furnish in terms of light, in terms of blinds and other safety and other safety measures and light measures in terms of blocking out the light in one's home. So because I have a condition called narcolepsy, which, for those of you who don't know, narcolepsy means that I can fall asleep without having any control over it. This condition is exacerbated by two things. One of those things is stress, and the other one of those things is, therefore, I requested that external heat blinds be installed along with internal blackout blinds so that the light and the heat can be controlled, especially as the weather gets warmer, because the windows are so big in the property, and because it's a first floor flat, the property gets extremely hot, which makes my condition very hard to manage, especially if I'm doing something that requires concentration. It reduces my alertness and my ability to stay awake down to moments. I've had to give up my car as well as a result of this condition because I'm not safe to drive. I didn't have the condition when I moved into the flat, at least not this bad. So going forward, there have been 9 subsequent email requests backwards and forwards from Alliance. The final one regarding this situation was on the 5th of May 2026, and at that point I asked if it was possible for my tenancy officer to come out and visit so she could see what was going on and what I was having to do in order to be able to control not just the light and heat, but also putting insect screens up. The reason I have to have insect screens is because I live in a social housing area. Out the back of the property are bin stores, and so in the hot weather this creates flies and they all come in through my skylights, which causes me a lot of stress, especially because of a traumatic event that happened at this property where I ended up with insect infestations. Since the 5th of May 2026, there have been 8 attempts via phone calls and emails to get my tenancy officer to make contact with me, not just about the adaptations, but also about ongoing issues that I'm having with a neighbour at the property. We are now in the middle of a heat wave, and this video is a demonstration of what I have to do in order to protect myself from the extreme heat that actually sends the temperatures inside my flat 10 degrees hotter than the temperatures outside of the flat. Alliance Homes had instructed me to contact occupational therapy in order for occupational therapy to provide a grant for the adaptations. Occupational therapy, although they've been very helpful and said they might be able to help me to move, but don't know when they can help me move, it can take some time, have said that they can't give me the grant for the adapters. They don't recognise my disability. The council recognises my disability because I have 100% exemption from council tax. So because my disability is a hidden disability and because it isn't recognised, does that negate it as a disability? Also, when people need a wet room because they can't climb in and out of the bath safely, do the council wait for them to have an accident, or do the housing association wait for them to have an accident before they install the wet room, or do they install the wet room as a precautionary measure? Because each time I climb up on a ladder and each time I climb up on the side to adjust insect screens, to open windows, because I have to open the insect screens before I can use the pole to open the windows. Each time I have to wrestle with bits of duvet covers and things like that to block out the light. I am at risk of serious injury, not just from slipping. Even if I didn't have these disabilities, I am at risk. But with these disabilities, I am at risk of falling asleep in a moment, in a heartbeat, while I'm up on that ladder or up on that side. Maybe this is going to get somebody. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.